Here's a phrase that at the beginning of 2018, I didn't think I'd be saying today. Astro Bot Rescue Mission is one of the best video games this year. In a year where we've seen God of War push the boundaries of storytelling and cinematic experience, Red Dead Redemption 2 showcased one of the deepest, most systems-heavy open worlds ever made, Spider-Man displays some of the most fun traversal and combat systems this generation, and Celeste tell a beautiful story about struggling with mental health, while simultaneously being an extremely polished indie platforming experience. Astro Bot 1000% should have been nominated. Now, no award show is perfect. I can always point to Macklemore winning the Grammy for Best Rap Album of the Year over Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City as a prime example. In fact, this video isn't necessarily meant to be an indictment of the Game Awards. Relatively, in the grand scheme of things, the video games industry is very young and we're still trying to figure things out. It's especially not an indictment because the games that were nominated for Game of the Year are all excellent games, or at least I can make a case for any one of them to be represented. However, I can also make the case for Astro Bot Rescue Mission to be represented. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Astro Bot Rescue Mission, it's okay because a lot of people probably are. It's a 3D platformer for PlayStation VR developed by Sony's Japan studio, and it stars these little Astrobots, cute robot characters that made their debut in PlayStation VR's Playroom. Rescue Mission begins as the Astrobot ship is destroyed by an alien, and all the tiny bots are scattered to different locations, except for one, the one that you end up controlling, Captain Astro. After this devastating event, you then find yourself traversing linear, Crash Bandicoot-esque platforming levels where the goal isn't only to reach the end, but to collect and save the other Astrobots, akin to something like Spyro the Dragon or other exploratory 3D platformers of the era. It's these comparisons that make it a bit easier to illustrate some of the brilliance of the game. Crash and Spyro are obvious analogs because of the PlayStation lineage, but when I first started playing, I couldn't help but to think of Super Mario. Now, this is where I pause and say that Mario is one of my favorite video game franchises. Mario Odyssey was nominated for Game of the Year last year in 2017 at the Game Awards, and I can only presume that is because of the excellent level design, platforming challenges, and incredible charm that that game has. Reminds me of a different game. In Astro Bot, the platforming design is some of the best I've ever played. It borders on a magical experience, much like I would say Mario Odyssey does. This is because everything is tailored around being in that PlayStation VR headset. Much like how a different Mario game, Mario 64, is all about taking advantage of being in a 3D space by giving you the ability to explore, fly, flip, and do all sorts of crazy movement. Rescue Mission does a lot of the same with VR space. Each design decision is supporting the idea of existing in virtual reality. You, as a player, are part of the world, playing the role of an unnamed robot helping guide Captain Astro. This gives the game the ability to treat you as a character as much as it treats the little guy, as at times it goes out of the way to acknowledge your existence. Moments like heading a soccer ball back and forth with an enemy felt surreal, but it was nowhere near as crazy as when the game placed a dandelion in front of me and I had to blow it away. What? How? A gag that I still have no idea how it worked. In its design, Rescue Mission is all about using space, and so many of its incredible moments play with the idea of using space in unique and interesting ways. For example, the first time the game took me underwater felt surreal in a way that I could only experience in VR because I felt like I was truly being taken there. Likewise, there was a level that continually raised me to greater heights, causing for one, a vertical platforming experience that was extremely cool and fun, and two, the feeling of literally looking down and feeling the sensation of being high in the sky. Once again, sensations that I would only be able to experience in VR, and sensations that Astro Bot Rescue Mission went above and beyond in ensuring I experienced them. Additionally, finding your Astro friends requires you, the player, to physically look around 360 degrees, which changes a game like this dynamically. Scrubbing a level clean in Mario Odyssey, for example, is all about searching every every fabric of that level. Astro Bot Rescue Mission asked of me something that I haven't had to do in a video game before. It asked me to turn around. It asked me to look left and right and up constantly at every moment as to not miss something. In a game all about searching for hidden items, I really had to search, as the design always felt clever enough to reward you whenever you have a hunch that a secret could be behind a corner. Astro Bot's game design demands of the player at every moment to participate in a way that games haven't really asked of players prior, and it does so while delivering on having its own unique, fun personality. It's an extremely polished game, an extremely charming game, a technical marvel in terms of what it does with the hardware, and it's just a purely fun game to play. I haven't smiled this much playing any other video game this year. What I can't say for any of the other Game Award nominees, aside from maybe God of War, is that this is a game unlike anything I've experienced before. And to be fair, Astro Bot did get a nod for Best VR Game, but this game exceeds just virtual reality, at least in my own humble opinion. Game of the Year nominations are often dominated by action-adventure games, with an indie darling in there for good measure, and I don't think there's much wrong with that. If that's what we want, then that's what we want. I think there's a lot of factors that goes into voting and our collective mentality of what we should highlight and what we deem overall important. But to accompany storytelling, great graphics, and impressive systematic depth, for your consideration, I'd like to submit a game that's purely refreshing, new, and made me smile endlessly. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I really gotta suggest checking out the OKBeast podcast. Every week, my friends and I talk about news, the games we've been playing, and much more. It's full of laughs and fiery takes, and an overall good time. Check it out, and also check out our Patreon. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later.